going on? I really don't know where to begin, but I'll start with I do know where to begin. I'll start with Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia's last performance. I said in the previous video that I think the fight could go either way. I just based it more on the fact that both fighters are not elite. They're not really at that elite level, but I felt like Mario Barrios was tough enough to actually be durable, and he was durable. He lasted, but I said that either fighter would win. It didn't matter like how they win, but the way Ryan Garcia won, he actually proved that he does have power. But at the same time, Mario Barrios is a champion that's not really elite. He was not an elite proven fighter. He's just a tough, durable fighter that went the distance with Tank Davis and Keith one-time Thurman. And I did say that there was not going to be a knockout, so I was right about that. And I said the fight could go either way. And I didn't really say any particular fighter was going to win between Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios. So I said the fight could go either way. But I was kind of like rooting for Mario Barrios because I don't like the Instagram or social media sensation of it aspect of it. I prefer to see fighters that have really a lot of talent and skills and have like versatility, not just power. I just think a boxer should be, his fame should be based more on his ability and his pedigree in boxing, not his fame. All right, let me see. Oh, somebody already tuned in. One of my regulars, JJ Zendejas. Thanks for tuning in, my brother. Everyone, hit the like button as you enter and subscribe. Thank you, my brother, JJ Zendejas. Haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for tuning into the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Tony also knows boxing. You're tuning into my channel. Yes, so I believe that Ryan Garcia did what he was supposed to do, and he actually dominated Mario Barrios, which it's really I don't consider it like something overly impressive. I just think that due to all his performances with Devin Haney, the cheating, the stuff, using illegal substances, and using Ostarine and stuff like that, like he hasn't looked the same. Like that was the word, that he hasn't looked the same, because when he fought Rolly Romero, he didn't look good at all. He didn't look like himself. But maybe that is who he is, based on him not using the Ostarine. But when he fought Mario Barrios, he showed a consistency and staying close, throwing the right hook, and he knocked down Mario Barrios. And I feel like that showed a consistency in him. And I just feel like he had the right opponent in front of him. Mario Barrios doesn't have the killer instincts. Yes, he's tough, he's durable. He don't have the killer instinct to, like, he gets knocked down, he doesn't try to get up and get revenge and try to like get back for what happened to him. He doesn't try to make his opponent pay. He just stays in the fight, but he doesn't try to like ante up the ammunition with his combination. So yeah, subscribe to the channel. Tony also knows boxing. You're tuning into my channel. Subscribe to that channel. Yes, I believe that Ryan Garcia did what he had to do, and then at the end of the fight, he actually called out Shakur Stevenson, and I don't think he has a chance against Shakur Stevenson. I think Shakur Stevenson is on another level, and I think Shakur Stevenson said that the highest he will go in weight is 147. He's not going to go higher than 147. That'll be his fifth division. And he's a four-time champion, and I really commend Shakur Stevenson for his great performances. He's very dominant, and I feel like somebody that's going to beat Shakur Stevenson has to have boxing ability, and I don't think Ryan Garcia has a boxing ability. He's flat-footed. He had the right opponent in front of him, Mario Barrios. Subscribe to the channel. Tony also knows boxing. You're tuning into my channel. All right, JJ Zendejas. Exactly. Don't mess with the boogeyman. Yeah, you consider Shakur Stevenson the boogeyman of the boxing 140 weight class division now, huh? I mean, he beat Teofimo Lopez in dominant fashion, and I knew he would. And a lot of people were underestimating Shakur Stevenson, and they weren't giving him the credit that he deserves. And now he's gonna get it, and he's getting it. But I feel like Ryan Garcia says that he beat him in the amateurs and he has a tip on his shoulder. He has a tip on his shoulder, but at the end of the day, you know, he's exaggerating based on what Shakur Stevenson said, and that he never won the fight in the amateurs. But I feel that Shakur Stevenson is just on another level. I don't think anybody's going to beat him right now. Not anybody in my mind. I don't even think Richardson Hitchens beats Shakur Stevenson. And I like Richardson Hitchens, but I don't think he beats Shakur Stevenson. And Gary Antoine Russell, I don't think any of those guys will beat Shakur Stevenson. Subscribe to the channel. Tony also knows boxing. You're tuning into my channel. Do not be afraid to click the like button. Do not be afraid to subscribe and comment. Give me your assessment. Let me know what you think about Ryan Garcia's performance. I think that, I'm not really impressed with Ryan Garcia. He beat a guy that was stationary right in front of him, got knocked down. And, Ryan Garcia is going to knock you down if you stay in front of him. But Shakur Stevenson's on another level. And I don't think Ryan Garcia could beat this guy and Gary Antoine Russell. I don't think he could beat him. I wasn't really impressed with Gary Antoine Russell's performance against that Japanese guy. I expected, Gary Antoine Russell to make a statement, and if he's going to actually make some noise in the 140 weight class division, which is it's an interesting division, and I feel that Ryan Garcia, he has a chance to knock him down, and I don't know, like based on that performance of Mario Barrios, I still think that Gary Antoine Russell has the goods to beat a Ryan Garcia. I just think he's levels above him, but he don't have that one punch power that everybody says he has. I just think that a lot of people overrate him like that with his power. All right, JG Zendejas, that's his nickname. Yep, that's his nickname. Yep. You talking about Shakur Stevenson, right? That's his new nickname. JJ Zendejas. I didn't bet on the fight because I didn't know which Garcia was gonna show up. Yeah, that's true. Like, you don't know what Garcia you're gonna get. Like that one looked like a more motivated Garcia. He won his first championship because they don't count the Devin Haney victory as a victory. They took it out because he was using illegal substances. Somebody's making a stupid comment over here. I put the Puerto Rican flag up, not the colonization flag that imposed imperialism on Puerto Rico and still possesses unincorporated territory colonies. So no, I don't put the American flag because there's a lot of blood. America has a lot of blood in their hands. But I'm gonna give you 15 seconds of fame. K-Town skier, he said, "Where's the U.S. flag?" I'll never put the U.S. flag up there because they imperialized Puerto Rico, illegally invaded Puerto Rico, and I'm not going to support a colonizer corporation like the United States. And only people that are interested in imposing imperialism on other countries and have them as subservient to the United States, they support what the United States Anglo government does. But let's not talk about politics. If you want to check out my music on all major platforms. Free Puerto Rico. The Monumental Truth, Unite the Tribes. That's my album, the Monumental Truth. And Unite the Tribes is a major successful song that I talked about. The U.S. imperialism of Puerto Rico, the illegal sugar industry, that they invaded Puerto Rico, and they actually established Domino Sugar with Wall Street with Charles Herbert Allen, and they imposed slavery on the Puerto Ricans and Albizu Campos, who created the first successful strike against the United States, raised the wages of the Puerto Rican workers that were working for Domino Sugar, Charles Allen. And since he was able to create a successful strike, Albizu Campos, a valedictorian who knew 6 different languages, he was a black Puerto Rican who was murdered by the FBI, and they put BDI radiation on his body, and they killed him. And I don't want to talk about that, but I talk about that in my music. Unite the Tribes. Check out that song. I talk about Grito de Lares. I talked about everything, and Free Puerto Rico, and it's in the album, The Monumental Truth, those two songs. And check out my new album, Mi Patria Linda. It's very powerful. And check out my new single real soon with Keith Murray. It's going to come out, Stop Being Greedy. Keith Murray, yes, from the Golden Era. Def Squad, he's featuring on a song with me, Stop Being Greedy. It's going to be released soon. It's being mixed and mastered as we speak. And yes, he loves my hook. Keith Murray loves my hook. So check out my music on all major platforms. And I also got a freestyle song that I'm releasing called I Won't Stop. It's about fulfilling your goals and accomplishing your dreams and living your dream, because that's what I'm doing right now. Subscribe to the channel. Tony also knows boxing. Adder Thew says hi. Thanks for tuning into my channel, Adder Thew. Subscribe to the channel. Tony also knows boxing. All right, let me move along. Let me see what it says there. Yes, so right now we have Floyd Mayweather, who I thought it was actually a rumor, but I did my research, I did my due diligence, and he is actually already have signed a fight for September 19th against Manny Pacquiao. Yep. Let's get more likes. JJ Zendeja says, let's get more likes. Thank you for tuning in, my brother. Thank you for supporting me. Amarayas Mika asked me, do you like Bad Bunny? I don't got nothing against Bad Bunny. I think he's doing more good than bad, but there is some bad. I don't agree with everything, but I think he's doing a lot more good than bad, and he's raising awareness to a certain degree. But I feel like we can't really rely on entertainers too much. We need real leaders like Alicia Molina, and he's bringing awareness, which is good, but we can't rely on Bad Bunny to be the leader of independence movement for Puerto Rico and sovereignty for us to not be a colony of the United States anymore, which the United States illegally invaded Puerto Rico and has us as an unincorporated territory. So, yeah, so somebody's knocking at my door. So, yeah, so can you answer that, my son? Yeah, so I don't believe that, I support Bad Bunny, but I don't think that he should be the main leader or something like that. He's just bringing awareness, which I admire, and I think that's okay. Subscribe to the channel. Tony also knows boxing. You're tuning into my channel. All right, let me see the comments. Amarias Mika says, yeah, I feel like he helps to a certain amount. Yeah, to a certain extent. And it's good. More artists need to do what he's doing for Puerto Rico. More artists. But he's not the end-all, be-all. He's not the total solution for Puerto Rico to be an independent sovereign nation, which is being exploited by the United States, where tax exemptions are being received from outsiders who are not from Puerto Rico, and U.S. corporations are actually exploiting the tax exemptions of the Act 60, etc., and so on. So, yeah, so if you want to know more about that, you can check out my music on all major platforms. I have 2 albums, The Prodigy of Elvis Ocampos, The Monumental Truth. The Monumental Truth is just basically truths, all truths. It doesn't only talk about that in particular. It has different subject matter, but it has 2 singles from Unite the Tribes and Free Puerto Rico. But the whole album consists of different subject matter. And I sing on the hook and I rap on the verses, but it's not just one subject. But yeah, I have those 2 songs on The Monumental Truth that talked about the United States imperialism of Puerto Rico and so on. And check out the new upcoming single with Keith Murray, Stop Being Greedy. Tony also featuring Keith Murray, Stop Being Greedy. Is going to be released real soon. And check out my music on all major platforms. And yeah, so let's get back to boxing. Yeah, so Mayweather signed and Pacquiao have signed, based on what I looked in the internet, to fight at the Sphere in Las Vegas to be streamed globally at Netflix. So there's a rematch, and Mayweather's made a decision to fight professionally again after so many years. I don't know how many years it's been. I think it's been like maybe 9 years. Mayweather hasn't fought, maybe more. So he hasn't fought for a long time. Mayweather, he's fought like exhibitions, but nothing serious. So he's gonna fight Manny Pacquiao, and the fight is signed for September 19, 2026 at the Sphere in Las Vegas, to be exact. And it's going to be streamed globally on Netflix. Following the 2025 return of Pacquiao, Pacquiao is going to fight, before he fights Mayweather, he is going to fight Ruslan Provodnikov in April 18th. And I'm like, okay, Provodnikov hasn't fought in 10 years. In 10 years, that's a long time. And I believe that, that's going to be a fight, just a comeback fight again, to get his feet wet again after his controversial draw with Mario Barrios. And that fight, Pacquiao's going to fight, before he fights Mayweather, he's going to fight April 18th against Ruslan Provodnikov. I believe Provodnikov fought Timothy Bradley and stunned Timothy Bradley, but Timothy Bradley won the fight. But he almost knocked out Timothy Bradley. But he lost the fight, and that was a good fight as well. But we don't know we don't really think he's going to be at his best. Provodnikov hasn't fought in 10 years, so I just believe that he lost to John Molina, Jr. So that was his last fight in 2016 of June 11th. So I believe that that's going to be the comeback fight, April 18th at the Thomas and Mack Center. I think the Thomas and Mack Center was the fight that Hector Macho Camacho and Julio Cesar Chavez fought years ago in 1992. I remember that kind of brought like a flashback. Yes, subscribe to the channel. Tony also knows boxing. You're tuning into my channel. Don't be afraid to click the like button. Don't be afraid to comment and give me your opinions. Who do you think will win between Pacquiao and Mayweather? Mayweather is supposed to fight Tyson sometime in April. I think he's gonna fight April 20. No. He's gonna fight. Let me see. Set to face Mike Tyson. Yeah, he's gonna fight Mike Tyson. Pacquiao, they're gonna fight in September 19th, and he's gonna fight Mike Tyson April 25th at the Democratic Republic Congo. That's where he's gonna fight. Mayweather's gonna fight Mike Tyson. What a circus this is! This is a real, true circus. Somebody just asked me a question. Max Ray 6817, Benavidez or Kaufman? Well, Benavidez is supposed to fight. What's his name? Zurdo. He's supposed to fight Zurdo. Do you know that he's supposed to fight him? And it's gonna be for the 2 belts, and that's gonna be an interesting fight. I think Benavidez is the goods, and I think he's gonna win. He's one of my favorite fighters, so I'm going for him. Ramiro Zurdo is fighting David Benavidez. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting. So yeah, the fight with Mayweather and Tyson is set for April 25th. I don't know if it's not fully finalized. The fight with Pacquiao versus Ruslan Provodnikov is not finalized yet. But I don't know if the Mayweather fight with Tyson is finalized, but I think it's tentatively negotiated for April 18th and for actually April 25th. Mike Tyson versus Mike Tyson, and April 18th is not really finalized between Ruslan Provodnikov and Manny Pacquiao. Is scheduled for April 18th, but it's not finalized yet. So yeah, that's what I got right now as far as boxing. Who do you guys think will win if Mayweather and Pacquiao fight again? I think that Mayweather and Pacquiao, that fight is it's like old news, and I'm not excited about it, but I'll watch it. But we saw how Manny Pacquiao looked against Manny Barrios, even though I think he won, but he didn't look so his reflexes were like not on point. Manny Pacquiao's reflexes were kind of like off, man, and he wasn't the same version that he was before. Because like if the Manny Pacquiao of old, the one that beat Thurman, which wasn't really the real prime Pacquiao, but he still had a lot left when he beat Thurman. He knocked him down, and he looked impressive. Like he was more his footwork was better, his timing, his speed was still there, and I believe that his reflexes are not the same in the Mario Barrios fight with Manny Pacquiao. I think he's totally not the same Manny Pacquiao that we saw when he fought Keith Thurman, or even the first fight between him and Mayweather. So I don't know what Mayweather we're gonna get. Mayweather does have skills. He has great defense, and fighters that have defense and skills like Mayweather, they usually have more in the tank left than fighters like Manny Pacquiao, who took more damage in the long run. So I don't know. I think Mayweather wins, and I don't think the Pacquiao of old is available these days. And I don't think that fight is going to be interesting. That's just a money grab, and they're just living off their names. That's what they're doing. Yeah, they're living off their names. Mayweather's going to beat his ass again. Babyface Ham 8156. Thanks for tuning into the channel, my brother. Thanks for tuning into the channel. Babyface Ham 8156, and we don't need it. I agree, man. Those kind of fights, they kind of like, it just upsets me that everything is all about a monopoly, just to exploit the name of the fighter, and they're just living off of their names. And I don't knock them for doing that, but the real boxing fans want to see real competitive fights. Abdullah Mason, Keyshawn Davis fighting the best. Abisal Cotto, all the fighters coming up, it makes it harder when the boxing has become such a business that it makes it harder for boxers that are coming up. Like back in the days, the champion used to fight the number one contender, and the number one contender could become a star and become a household name. But now it's like harder for the number one contender to even get a fight with a champion because they don't have the name, the value that the big promotions want to make fights. They want to make the biggest fights for the most money, and they don't value the fighters that earn their way to the top, number one contender to fight the champion. So now it's just about marketability, and they don't give the fighters coming up like to the number one ranks and become champion to fight the big names unless they have a great promoter. Yeah, so it's like it takes time. Like once you build those fighters, they get the opportunities, but you have to build those fighters. Then you have to throw them to the big corporation fighters that are signed to a bigger company like Matchroom, and then you get a company like Universal Promotions from Puerto Rico, and they make a deal where they fight the guy that's a household name, and then they don't have any advantages. So we don't know what kind of politics plays behind the scenes, and they usually try to, take advantage of the fact that the fighter coming up in the weight class or in the rankings doesn't have a big huge promoter that's established as much as one that's more mainstream. So they take advantage of that fact. So it's a lot of politics, but hopefully with Abisal Cotto, I think he's gonna make a lot of noise in Puerto Rico. He's fighting at the Zone. He's gonna fight in the Zone. I interviewed him already a lot of times, and he's one of my good friends. And I got a song for him to walk in the ring. Abisal Cotto is in Spanish. The interview's in Spanish. All my interviews with the boxing prospects of Puerto Rico are in Spanish. And Abisal Cotto, you should check out my latest interview in the video section. And I interviewed Felix Tito Trinidad's cousin, nephew, Joey Borrero. So you check that out. I also, Stephanie Pinheiro, I interviewed her too. She's fighting Lauren Price. I'm trying to get her to interview her too again, another interview with her. So check out those interviews. And I believe that that those interviews are good. And I've always wanted to be a journalist. And I remember like when I graduated from high school, when I was in my 20s, after my 20s, years after I graduated from high school, I wanted to be a journalist. I was going to a college, and I felt like the college that I was going to, the local college that I was trying to go to, they didn't have anything on journalism. So, I was thinking, okay, like it's kind of far, the college that I want to go to. So I guess I put it on the back burner because it was too far. The college that I wanted to study journalism, it was too far. So, I've always wanted to be a journalist, and now I'm doing journalism with the interviews. When I interview the boxers with no experience, just the experience, like hands-on experience, just taking the chance to interview all these great fighters, these upcoming prospects. They give me the opportunity to interview them, and I'm able to get that on my resume and have some kind of a resume to show people that I'm doing pretty good at journalism, even though I didn't go to college for it. I do my research and I do my due diligence. I do my research on all the boxers that I interview, and then I interview them and ask them the right, appropriate question. And I try to be as real, authentic as possible and ask the questions that most people don't dare to ask, but do it respectfully as much as I can. But it's also entertaining because a lot of people don't have the courage to ask the bold, honest questions that I ask. And I feel like that's good. I always try to work it out with them. And let me read the comments over here. Not interested. Doubtful says not interested in 50-year-olds fighting. Need Virgil Ortiz versus Booth Ennis this year and soon. That's not gonna happen because Virgil Ortiz is frozen right now because of the legal lawsuit that he had on Oscar De La Hoya, and they froze his contract, so he's not allowed to fight anybody from any other fighter other than until they resolve that the civil case that he has against Oscar De La Hoya. So right now he's frozen and he can't fight anybody. So he's going to be put on the shelf for a while, Virgil Ortiz. Doubtful, thanks for your comment. I appreciate you, my brother. Subscribe to the channel. Tony also knows boxing, but I agree with you. Not interested in 50-year-olds fighting each other. I agree. It's all a money grab, and it's not really entertaining for me. It's okay, but I'm not thrilled about it. I'm not invigorated about it. But yeah, Babyface Ham 8156, respectfully, old fighters need to sit down. I agree, man. But they're making money, and I can't knock them for hustling, and I can't knock their hustle. But I don't really want to watch those fights. Yeah, but I agree. Babyface Ham 8156. Sports is a young man's game. I agree. I agree. You know, I deserve. I think that the older guys deserve an opportunity, but don't keep recycling your name and just promoting that. Give the fighters on the undercard an opportunity, that the people that are not really that established but that are coming up, so that you could keep giving life to boxing, to the sport of boxing. You know, give people that are coming up in the ranks, that are, you know, actually working hard to get to the top, so you could give them some exposure. But they don't really do that. They just put fighters that are with big companies now, that are more established with a big company. Babyface Ham 8156. You got to get an interview with Amanda. Yeah, thanks for asking me that. I would love to. Check out my other interviews, by the way. They're good, great prospects. Abisal Cotto is 11-0 with 8 KOs at the 130-pound weight class division. He's from Puerto Rico, Caimito. He is the truth. He can box, he can punch, he has boxing ability, he's tall, he has power, one punch power. He has everything: footwork, defense, everything. He's great. You got to see him. He's gonna be a problem, man. He's gonna be a problem for anybody in that weight class right now. And he's gonna fight on the zone March 19th, and I believe Patrick Cora's gonna fight too. But don't want to talk about Patrick Cora too much, because I don't want to say too much about him. I know it's a lot of stuff. But anyway, I'll tell you in the future. Yeah, subscribe to my channel. Tony also knows boxing. You're tuning into my channel. Time 181.88. Tony, always boxing. And chat family, stay consistent and healthy. I appreciate you, my brother. Time 18188. I appreciate your comment. God bless you, and subscribe to the channel. Tony also knows boxing. You're tuning into my channel. Keep subscribing, and don't be afraid to view my channel and view the content and comment on all the fights that I'm talking about, and give your like, press your like button and subscribe, and don't be afraid to comment, and you're going to get the unadulterated truth on my channel. I'm not afraid to speak the truth, and I'm not afraid to speak my mind. And if you want to check out my music, to check out what I talk about in my hip hop stuff and on my R&B or my Afro beats, that's what I'm coming up with. My new album, Afro Beats, is going to have, you know, like a lot of reggae, R&B, dancehall, everything. It's going to have everything. Salsa, trap. Yeah, it's going to have everything. Hip-hop. Keith Murray's going to feature on my song, Stop Being Greedy. It's in the process of being mixed and mastered. So, yes, I'm making a name for myself. I'm getting established. Everybody that undermined Tony also, take those apples. How you like them apples? Yeah, for all those people that undermine me. But check out my music on all major platforms. Thank you, Time 18188. They just need to bring back fighters like Roberto Duran and Felix Trinidad. Let me say that again. Time 18188. They just need to bring back fighters like Roberto Duran and Felix Trinidad. Right. Facts. Facts. Those are fighters that they don't come every year. They're not a dime a dozen. Babyface Ham 8156. Your thoughts on Subriel Matias? I really used to think he was the boogeyman. That's a question that I didn't want to go back to reflect on him, but I just think that he's a really entertaining boxer, and I think that he does take a lot of punishment. Yes, he has some kind of, you know, he has some subtle defense, but I just think that, you know, he does take a lot of shots, but he was tough, and I believe that he has a lot of consistency. But I just feel like the powers that be, you know, they tampered with with the gloves. They said that he couldn't use the gloves that he wanted, and there was a lot of stuff that, you know, that was not right. They should have allowed him to pick his gloves, but, you know, he wasn't with the bigger company like Matchroom. Even though they won the purse bid, I feel like, you know, a bigger company always gonna have the upper hand with the boxing commission, and they're gonna play politics behind the scenes. And even though, you know, I think Subriel Matias was winning the fight against Dalton Smith before he got knocked out, I do believe he was getting hit, and, you know, he wasn't blocking a lot, and but I do believe the gloves was a factor. He didn't have the gloves that he wanted to use, so, you know, you could hurt your hands if you don't if you use the gloves that Subriel Matias was using. But the gloves that the gloves that Dalton Smith was using, they were they were protective of his gloves, of his hands, and he was able to like be more secure and throw in more combinations and not worry about hurting his hands. And they purposely didn't want Subriel Matias to have any advantages or even playing field. And he was the champion. He should have had some even playing field or the upper hand with the gloves that he used, but he wasn't signed to the bigger promotion. So they were kind of upset too that Matchroom lost to Fresh Production Boxing of Puerto Rico. So there's a lot of things behind the scenes with the commission that an established company like Matchroom has the upper hand against a company that's not established. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff I think about Super Matias. I wish him the best. Time 181.88. Abdullah Mason can fight, but he takes a lot of hits, but he definitely hits back. Yes, he needs to work on his defense. Abdullah Mason is good. I think Keyshawn Davis is. Keyshawn Davis to me is the goods. I think he's the truth. He's one of my favorites. Abdullah Mason, I'm not really convinced. He's really good, but I'm not convinced. He didn't look so great in his last fight. He took too many hits and he won, but he has to take advantage of his boxing ability. He needs to work on his defense. I agree. Thanks for your comments. Time 181.88. Subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you. Are you new to my channel? This is the first time I see you on my channel. Let me see what Babyface Hem 8156 says. They can't bring those type of fighters back. Those were generational talent. Yeah, it's different. It's different, but they got to do more better with the promotions. Like, they have Universal Promotions doing good, but they're not like in the United States, they're not major, but they do have major deals with major promotions. They do business with Salida Promotions. They do business with the Zone. They do business with everybody. They're open to do business with everybody. There's a Puerto Rican company called Universal Promotions, and Abisal Coto's in it, and they're doing great things for boxing. Great things. So check out that interview when you get a chance. It's in Spanish. Abisal Coto, Tony also, check it out. It's in Spanish, man. He's the truth. He's 11-0 with 8 KOs. He's gonna fight March 19th on the Zone. And I wrote a song for him to walk in the ring, and he said he's gonna train to it and he's gonna walk in the ring with my song. Tony also. So yeah, check out my music. Time 181.88. If Ryan Garcia can put it together and focus and fight like he fought last week, I think he can make some noise because Devin Haney is hiding in the Utah mountains. I like that comment, man. Thanks for your comments. At Time 181.88. Subscribe to the channel. Tony also knows boxing. You're tuning into my channel. Yeah, I think Ryan Garcia, I'm not sold on him. He did look good in his last fight. I'm not gonna take that away from him. He did win most of the rounds, and he did what he was supposed to do. And I said that either fighter would win. And Mario Barrios is nothing special, but I do believe that he won the fight. He did better than what he did with Rolly Romero. But if you put Shakur Stevenson in front of Ryan Garcia, Shakur Stevenson will play with him, will dominate him, and school him. And that's the end of that. I don't think Ryan Garcia, he has a puncher's chance, but not with Shakur Stevenson. I mean, he does, but do you really think he's gonna do anything put Shakur Stevenson in danger? Do you think that? At Time 181.88, do you think that? Subscribe to the channel. Tony also knows boxing. You're tuning into my channel. I'm looking forward to the fight. This Saturday, it's going to be Eduardo Nunez with Emmanuel Navarrete. You know that Emmanuel Navarrete, he don't have the greatest defense, but he does make it work for him. And he's very exciting, very entertaining. He throws a lot of combinations, relentless, kind of like Subriel Matias, but, I just think that he's exciting. He's exciting. He knows how to use it, and he's very unorthodox. He throws combinations from different angles, and I don't a lot of times a lot of boxers to prepare for a style like that, they got to have almost a perfect fight strategy, and you could outbox him if you know how to use your boxing ability to your advantage. But a fighter like that is really awkward. It's very awkward. Time 181.88. Shakur Stevenson on another level. When you can be in the gym with Bud Crawford and Andre Ward, that's the advantage. I call it the cheat code. Yeah, it is a cheat code. It just adds and contributes to whatever pedigree of boxing Shakur Stevenson already has. So him having all those elite, skillful fighters in his, in his pocket, like being able to like spar with them, is an advantage. It adds to your arsenal. You learn so much more, and you add so many more dimensions to your strategy and your skills and your capabilities. And you gotta be a student of the game, especially if you're at that level in boxing, that IQ, that high status, like Shakur Stevenson. I believe that's something that gives you an advantage, and he's just gonna get better and better. And I don't think Tank Davis could beat Shakur Stevenson. Tank Davis he's suspect. I think he lost to Lamont Roach, and Lamont Roach, the fight was close in his last fight with Pitbull Cruz, but I think he won. He did enough to win, even though he got knocked down. Lamont Roach, yeah, he's been getting the raw end of the stick in every fight. All right, time 181.88. Did Shakur Stevenson ever sparred Devin Haney and Tank Davis? I think he sparred with Devin Haney. No. I think he sparred with Tank Davis, and then Tank Davis said that he sparked him. That was one of his words. I'm just paraphrasing, but he said that he touched him up. That's what he said. And then people talk, and everybody has that shock value. Like before they fight, they try to use whatever they did in sparring. And it's different. Sparring is different than actually boxing. You're actually preparing for an opponent, so you're not like you're learning. You're learning. Like when maybe he didn't know certain things at that point, and then when you get in the ring, it's totally different. Babyface Chem 8156. I think Shakur started actually listening to the fans. He went from boring and technical to skilled and flashy. Yeah, but he always had that in his bag, but he just felt like he wasn't gonna risk it, like just for the fans. So he's in control of when he does that and when he doesn't. But I think that he focused on showing the fans that he could also bring it to you if he wants. So he took he got hit a little bit more than he's supposed to against William Cepeda, but I think he did that for the fans. But he can't always do that for the fans all the time, because at the end of the day, the fans, yes, they support you and everything, but if you get hurt and you get knocked out because you want to please the fans too much, then it jeopardizes you or your health. So he has to do whatever's best for him, whatever's best for him. But he has shown everybody that he can stay right in front of you in the pocket and not get hit and still dominate and outland his opponent. So he's not boring. You just gotta appreciate his boxing pedigree and his versatility. He can fight with you too. He sparred Haney. There's footage when they were younger. Doffel said he sparred Haney. There's footage when they were younger. I appreciate your comment, Doffel. Yes, yeah, I believe there was footage. I remember now. Time 181.88. Tony, stay blessed and balanced in life. I got to get back to work, but I'm definitely subscribed to the channel. Peace. You just subscribed, right? I appreciate you, my brother. Enjoy your day at work. God bless you. And thanks for those encouraging, powerful words, man. They mean a lot to me, man. You really do. Your family, everybody that's in this channel is family. Regardless of what race you are, we're all one. Just don't disrespect, because I'm going to come for you if you disrespect. I'm going to grab the bull by the horns. But anyway, thank you, my brother. Thank you, Dofful, for your comment. Thank you, Time 181.88, for your comment. God bless you. Stay tuned for those interviews. Look at the videos, and I got more interviews with Abisar Koto and more boxes. Stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel. Tony also knows boxing. I appreciate everybody showing the love. I'm trying to get to 1,000 and beyond. Thank you. Thank you so much. Doubtful. God bless you. I'm going to leave too. Peace. God bless you, my brother. Subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. Time 181.88. Almost forgot Keith Thurman mouth run faster than Wi-Fi. He better win that fight because he talked too much trash for me. Peace. I like his confidence though. That's his way. He's just confident in himself, and I know he talks a lot, but I do like Keith one time Thurman. I do, and yes, I think he's gonna beat I think he's gonna beat him. I think he's gonna beat him. Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting one. Fundora. I think he's gonna beat Fundora. I think Keith one time Thurman has the skills to do it. Fundora has been knocked down before. He has lost, and he's tough, but I'm gonna say Keith one time Thurman wins that fight. He has the boxing ability and the power, and he could go in and out. And I think that Fundora doesn't use his reach to his advantage. he fights close, and I think that's a dangerous ingredient for getting knocked out by Keith One Time Thurman. That's my assessment. Babyface Hem 8156. Keith Thurman is very likable. Even when he leaves it, doesn't seem to matter. Even when he leaves, it doesn't seem to matter. I like Keith One Time Thurman. I like him. I don't know. I just feel like he's been inactive a lot. He's been injured a lot. But I do like Keith One Time Thurman. I always wanted to see him fight Errol Spence. Always wanted to see him fight Terrence Crawford. All those fighters, but it never happened. But Pacquiao exposed them to the level that we thought he was at. But I think he's still a great fighter. And when he fought Pacquiao, Pacquiao still had a lot in him. He still had a lot left. So you can't take nothing away from Keith One Time Thurman. If it was Felix Diesel Trinidad, forget it. He would have knocked out Pacquiao. That's my opinion. But Babyface Ham 8156. So you think Keith One Time Thurman is gonna lose to Fondora? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe to the channel. Tony also knows boxing. You're tuning into my channel. Do not be afraid to click that like button. Do not be afraid of the truth. Do not be afraid to hear what Tony also has to bring to the surface, especially in my channel. All the truth will be revealed in various forms. Subscribe to the channel. Tony also knows boxing. Peace. Let me know in the comments. Babyface Ham 8156. God bless you. Everybody that tunes into my channel is family. Time 181.88. Yes, thanks for your comment, my brother. I'm going to read your comment one more time. I almost forgot. Keith Thurman Mount run faster than Wi-Fi. The better win. He better win that fight because he talked too much trash for me. Peace. Peace, my brother. Enjoy your day at work, man. I like Keith One Time Thurman, man. I ain't gonna front, man. He's a great talent, a great personality. He's not arrogant. I just think he's just confident. That's just my opinion. Subscribe to the channel. Tony also knows boxing.